So last week we created a manufactured costing which has this little M here. This week we're going to look at a wholesale costing, a import costing, which is used for those people who don't deal with parts and order their completed garments from overseas. So what we'll do is we'll just double click on the style, one of the styles we created previously, which is still what we call a wholesale costing. So it's just got a straight total cost and a wholesale price, yet it doesn't have any costings either in an import perspective or a manufactured perspective. Like we did last week when we created a wholesale cost, manufactured costing, we need to click on this wholesale button at the bottom of the screen here. So when we click on it, this question pops up and it asks us, are you sure you want to create a costing details for this style? Last week we clicked yes because we wanted to create a manufactured costing, but today we're going to create an import cost, so we're going to click no. So that's what we'll do right now. Once we click no, this following window pops up, and what we can do here is we can start building up our costing to be a landed cost. So it includes everything from the initial cost of the garment right through to the freight, duty, all of those sort of things. So the first thing we need to do, and always the first thing we should add in the list, is what is the actual cost of the garment out of the factory. You might call it FOB price, it might be just a garment price or something like that. So if I typed in the word garment here, what it allows me to do then is it allows me to add the amount that it's actually costing us out of the factory, and this is a price that would come through on a garment purchase order when we go to create our garment purchase order. So in this case we might make the currency amount $10, which is it's costing us $10 in whatever currency we're using or whatever our supplier is using. So if I click on currency here, we might decide it's going to be US dollars, for example, so I can choose the US dollar currency. It will bring through the default exchange rate. Now we've got this at 0.6. Obviously I set this default exchange rate quite some time ago, so I might want to change this exchange rate to 0.95 or something like that. You can see there then it works out what the cost price will be in Australian dollars. So you can see there that it's $10.53. Because I've added duty onto this garment type, you can see it's added on a certain amount of duty to the item. You can see that the duty would be 10%, so it's added 10% duty onto this item, which then gives us a total unit cost of $11.58. We can then add other things to our costing. So for example, we might have freight. So if I choose freight there, we can then put, say, $5, well that's probably a bit much, say $2.50 per garment, and it might be coming in Australian dollars this time. So we've added freight in there, and you can see now my total unit cost is $14.08 because it's added $11.58 plus $2.50. You can add as many different types of costing as you like to our costing matrix. So you know, you might have other things in here like insurance, for example, and I might put like 0.5, 50 cents in there, and it's coming through in Australian dollars, and it keeps adding up until we get a complete landed cost of $14.58. As I say, the most important thing is to ensure that whatever the price out of the factory is the first item that you add into the matrix. Here we've got our selling price, and I could then just update that selling price. You can see I know I can update the selling price because the selling price is bold. So I can actually add in like $65 if I wanted to, and it would change my markup price to 345%. But if I wanted to, I could click this fixed price button, and you can see that that will make the markup bold, and I could change my markup to say 400%. And you can see there that changes my selling price to $72.90. So then I could click on this and change it to fixed price again, and then I can round it up to say $75. And if I click, so that's basically all I need to do to create the costing. One thing that is important here is you can actually save these 3 items as a template that you may want to use later. So I can click the Save Template option here, and I might call this my test cost import, and it'll ask me if I want to save that new template, and I can say OK. So that's now saved, and I can click Exit, and I can save my changes. So you can see there it's actually, if I save this style, you can see here that now my item type is now an import item. So it's gone from a W, which was a wholesale item, to an I, which is an import item. I hope that makes sense. So just to show you one other little thing here, that if we click on the other tab, I might decide to reset this item and start all over again. And you can do this for a manufactured item also. I can click on reset to wholesale here. If I click and say yes there, you'll see what's happened is it's changed the item type back to a W. So I can then go in and do this import item again. So if I click on wholesale, I can say no to enter the import cost. I can go and load this time a template. Remember I saved that template last time, and I can find my test template. And you can see it brings through all the items in my template, and I can then just plug in the values. So you can see how it works it all out. And I can quickly save that. So that just makes creating the import costings a lot more straightforward. Well, that was a pretty quick session. That's all I intended to go through with you today.